already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the Dope Soul Just Nicking It weekly show. Few things to talk about tonight. I want to get into Knicks being fined. I guess you could call it fined. Found tampering and losing the second round draft pick in 2025. We'll talk a little bit about them calling Toronto about Anunoby. We saw him last night. Do we still think that was a good call? Or not. We'll talk about the other things as well. And then we'll also talk about Brunson, whether or not we think he's a budding star, despite how he played yesterday. And just keep in mind, just because I put the topic up doesn't mean I necessarily agree, but I think it's good for discussion. So let's bring in the panel. Jerrell, Ajay, fellas, how are you?
All right, can you hear me? Oh,
yes, can hear you very well.
Yeah, salute Queen, salute Jerrell, Knicks Nation, the chat.
Yeah, salute to everybody, man. Salute to the chat. Happy to be here. You know how we get down on Thursdays.
Yep.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So before we get into the main topic, or maybe we should get into the main topic and leave the other stuff to the end.
Okay.
Because the chat is already buzzing. All right. So let's get into the main topic. Is Jalen Brunson a budding star? But before we even answer the question, because there's no definitive definition of what it means to be a star. So before you answer the question, what's your definition of a star? And do you think when I say budding that he's heading in that direction? You may think he's there already, but is he heading in that direction based on your definition of it? So, Jerrell, we'll start with you. We'll go with Ajay. What's your definition of a star? When you think star, what do you think about? And where does Brunson fit in your definition of a star? And that's the same thing for the chat, because there's different definitions of being a star.
Yeah, being a star, that's pretty tough. I guess depends. Let's see if I can define it. I guess like somebody that's considered an all-star. An all-star caliber player, at least, not necessarily an all-star, because you know there's only so many spots that can be taken up for an all-star roster. There are always players that can make an all-star team that don't. So even this year, he might be an all-star caliber player, but he might not make the all-star team. You know, it depends on how we're playing. Obviously, his stats already have him up there with people that will be considered all-stars this year. So I guess that would be my definition, kind of like all-star or all-star-esque to say. But do I think he is? Yeah, I think he kind of proved that in the playoffs last year. Without Luka, he was a clutch. He was the number one option on his team with his size. I know a lot of people will talk about like he's not a good defender. Yeah, but a lot of stars aren't good defenders as well. So at least he shows effort on that side of the court. He's not going to be like, Murray from Atlanta and be a demon everywhere on that side of the court, but at least he shows effort, leads the team in charges. So, at least as long as I can see, at least some type of effort and the want to play defense, I'm cool with everything else. Like, he doesn't have to be a lockdown defender to be a star. So, to me, yeah, Jalen Brunson is a budding star. Like, he'll get there. Like, he hasn't even hit his prime yet.
That's a good point in terms of him not beating his prime. And again, I'm talking about budding star. But if you think he's a star already, and the same thing for the chat, if you think he's a star already, that's fine. Ajay, your definition of a star, and where do you think Brunson fits with your definition?
All right, so I'm gonna extend a little bit on what Jerrell just said. So it's
Mhm.
along the same line. I'm just gonna add one more little thing to it. It's
Okay.
a player who's more than just a role player. So a player who the team, yeah, if you're more than a role player, I mean, there's always exception to every rule. And I could think of a couple that were quote unquote role players but stars at the same time.
Mhm.
AKA Dennis Rodman, for
Mhm.
instance. But if you're more than a role player and the team, they call plays out for you, they rely on you, they count on you to be there, and it's a little bit harder to replace you than the quote unquote role players. To me, you're a star.
And where do you think Brunson fits with your definition?
He is a star. I mean, obviously, he's not just a role player. I mean, he's the head of the snake.
Okay.
So he's the leader. He's the unquestionable leader of the team. And I don't care what Randall scores, what RJ scores. When teams come in here, they're playing. Their defensive scheme is okay. How do we crowd Jalen Brunson, and then we'll figure out the rest.
Which is what Toronto
Exactly.
did, and I mean Randall and RJ stepped up. They kept us in the game, but you could tell that they came in and that was their game plan. It was the head of the snake.
Right.
We're gonna
Right.
we're gonna put pressure on him.
And by the same token, I know we only talk about Jalen Brunson.
But we're gonna expand it to Randall too. Somebody else in the
I kind of want to jump ahead a little bit because
Yeah.
you just mentioned Randall and RJ.
Mhm.
Because they're capable of stepping up, they also stars because they're not just role players.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So
Now, when you say star, are you talking about star of this team, or you talking about? Because I'm talking league wide. You're talking league wide as well.
well, since the New York Knicks are probably the most popular team and the most valued team, so if they are star of this team, they're probably a star league wide.
Okay.
Worldwide. I mean, we have more fans around the world. This is, I'm not saying this. That's what they're saying.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give my definition, then I'll check in with the chat. To me, a star is somebody that you can go to for a bucket. A star is somebody where when the game gets tough, either we cling into a lead and we're trying to hold on to it, or we're down and we're trying to get back in the game, or crutch moments in the game. You got that player that you can go to, and everybody knows the ball is going to that player, and they still able to get a basket for you, or they're still able to make a play for you. That to me is a star, and I think that's why, for me, using that definition, and everybody has different definitions, I would not consider Randall a star because I just don't think consistent, and you're doing this consistently, and by that I don't mean that you're going to make every single basket that you try to make, but for the most part, right? KD in crunch moments, he doesn't hit 100% of his shots, but he hits most of it, and he's able to get to his spots, and there's nothing you can really do about it. And everybody know the ball is going to KD. Everybody know where his spot is, and there's nothing you can really do about it. And to me, that's that's a star. And you could say that about Donovan Mitchell, which people will say he's not a star, but the same thing. The ball is going to him. Where he's trying to get to his spot for the most part, and there's nothing you can do it. Luka, all of those guys.
Queen. To me, that's a superstar.
Well, to me, a superstar is getting it on even a higher level, a higher level than that.
You talk about KD, Luka.
But not just that. Even Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell's not a superstar, but he can get to his spots. Like there's only a few superstars in the league, in my opinion. Those guys getting it done on a super high level. Like KD, I would consider, a superstar. But there are other players like that wouldn't be considered superstar that can get to their spots. The ball is going to them. And there's not much you can, do about it. I think Brunson is getting there. Now, to your point, Jerrell, like I want to say But I got to see it in the playoffs. But he
Right.
showed it in the playoffs against Dallas when Luka was out.
Yep.
So I guess maybe I just want to see it with the Knicks.
Right.
Maybe I just want to see it with the Knicks in the playoffs. But by my definition, I think he's really heading in that direction. Because when he gets in first of all, whenever we get in a little trouble, now he struggled last game.
hmm
You can name any superstar in this league who has struggled in a game.
Yep.
Which I've seen it, who struggled in the game. So he struggled yesterday, but to me, that doesn't change the conversation, in my opinion. And I'll check in with the chat when I finish. But I think he's a budding star. I want to see it for a longer sample size. I know he did it with Dallas, but I want to see him as the number 1A play on the team, do it for over the course of the season. But he's somebody, he'll call up his own number. We need a basket right now.
Right.
And he'll call up and everybody know what he's trying to do. He's going to get in the lane. He's going to try to score in it. Like, everybody knows what he's trying. But you can't stop him from getting to his spot.
Nope.
And he's not quick. He's shifty. He's shifty. He's not he can get to his spot. And I just think so he's somebody that you can go to if you're trying to cling to a lead, because he's done it. We've seen him this season already score 2, 3, 4 baskets in a row to extend our lead or help us get back into a game. Can he do it consistently over the course of the season? We shall see. That's why I'm saying budding. We've seen him do it at the end of the games to help us close games. And it doesn't always mean you have to score the ball. Is you making the play, whether that's you scoring the basket, whether you're making the pass, whatever,
Right.
Whatever it is. So in my opinion, I think he is a budding star. Now, Sherwin, and I'll get to the chat, talking about he doesn't play defense. First of all, he does play defense.
Yeah.
He definitely tries. The willingness is there. He's engaged. Now, if you want to say he's not good at it, if you want to say that because of his size, he's limited in terms of how effective he can be, okay. But I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't play defense. But I don't think that stops you from being a star. How much defense is Trae Young playing? How much defense was Harding playing when he was in his prime? How much defense was Curry playing? How much defense was Booker playing before Monty Williams got there? And we can go on and on and on and on and on. Now, again, everybody has their own definition of a star. But for me, we need you right now to extend this lead, get us back in the game, to close out this game. Everybody know we going to you. Everybody know where your spots are, and you're still able to deliver. That's a star for me. And that's why I think that, and I wouldn't even be mad at somebody who by that definition say he's already there. I wouldn't even be mad. For me, I just need to see a longer sample size, bigger sample size. And that's why I say Brandon Ingram is a budding star. Some people say he's a star right now. I just feel like I need to see more, like just see people do it over and over and over and over again before I say, yo, he's a star. But and I need to see you do it in the playoffs. And Brandon Ingram last season, when they went to the playoffs, he was all right, So, all right. Let me check in with the chat. We'll have more discussions about it. Pudge Nice, appreciate you. You have to have JP guard the off-ball guards, okay? Talking about defense. David L. JB plays great defense. Don't be bashful. Okay. Pudge Nice also said he does his best. West Coast Knicks. I was curious about your thoughts on Ja's defense. If you are defending his defense or trying to say he is a good or even decent defender, then we are on opposite sides of the fence is all. Okay, I take it he's responding to somebody in the chat. East Blue Drew, Brunson in crunch moments tends to what? He struggles against taller guards. Yes. JB isn't an all-star, only Randall is.
Mhm.
I'm curious. We'll talk about um, Randall as well. Salute, Kareem's. Appreciate you. Is that why Toronto triple T Randall from the first quarter? Listen, you're not going to have any argument from me that Randall is not playing at an all-star level right now. No
Right.
argument from me. You're not going to have any argument from me about the gravity that he has and the attention that he draws. But for me, and again, this is my definition of a star. Randall is not somebody that I can go to in a crutch moment consistently, that I can, you know, throw the ball down to and trust that he's either going to score for us um, or make the right play. Sometimes he does. Against Indiana, he was clutch, 6 free throws. That was clutch. You know, switching out on Halliburton twice in a row, playing really good one-on-one defense. That was clutch for us in those moments. So I'm not saying he's never been clutch. But for me as a star, I've seen it before with Randall, and maybe he's in a different place. So as the season goes on, we shall see. Um, but he's not somebody that you can consistently do that. And I think part of his recent play, and you guys can agree or disagree, is the fact that Brunson is there taking pressure off of him, and he doesn't have to be in those moments time after time after time.
True.
Again, and I think that's what's helping his play, in my opinion. Shout
Yeah.
out to Gail Barry for the sticker. Appreciate you rocking with us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. If you're asking me who I want the ball to to be with in the fourth quarter, I'm definitely picking Brunson over Randall. I mean, they both can go back and forth, obviously, and RJ could be mixed in
Mhm.
there too, because it's not like he doesn't have any type of clutch gene either. All three of them has shown that they can be clutch at times. So they probably had to take turns, but for the most part, I would like Brunson to have the ball in his hands.
Right, right. It comes down to like who do you trust in those moments when
Right.
um with the ball. Because nice, I'm going with JB for a clutch shot. Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. But more about Brunson. If we think back to who you thought he was going to be when we signed him,
Mm-hmm.
has he met or exceeded your expectations?
Oh,
I,
I'm about
I
to say
go.
I go first. Yeah, it's easy for me. Like that's my point
No,
guard stuff. So
he definitely exceeded. He exceeded my expectation. I felt that when they tried to me. As a matter of fact, that was in the news that the Knicks lost the second round pick because they tampered,
Mhm.
which I felt they didn't have to do. I thought it was crazy. Brunson was coming here anyway. His dad works here. He's all the they really didn't have to do that. And I think they went too hard to try to get him. I don't know. I felt that kind of effort you save for like a superstar.
Mhm.
Um, because I always saw Jalen Brunson as a backup point guard, but he exceeded. He plays the starting point guard role like uh, much better than I expected him to. Not that I didn't think he was talented. It's
Mhm.
just I never saw him in that role because he was always backing somebody up. Okay, he did. I did see him in college, but obviously the NBA is a different beast. But yeah, he fit right in. Like he exceeded what my expectations. That
Okay, Jerrell, you was going to say something else?
I was just gonna say, like the expectation part. I was gonna say that he's my point guard and everything, but I was kind of like a little the opposite of Aj. He didn't really exceed my expectations. I kind of figured that he was going to do what he was going to do here. Like I had faith that Brunson was going to, average almost 20 and be like fringe all-star level here. Like I always felt that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been calling for him before he even
Right.
became, a free agent. Though I still thought when we got him, so I'm not surprised at anything that he's doing right now. I'm not
Right.
surprised at all. But I always thought that, I'm rethinking this, that even with Brunson, the Knicks would still need two superstars. And Brunson, I always thought he could be a point guard on a championship contending team,
hmm
but I never thought he would be one of the two best players on a
Yeah.
championship contending team.
Yeah. I agree with
And
that too.
yes, but now I'm starting to think, if he continues to play the way he's playing in crunch moments,
Mhm.
maybe we only need one more star. Maybe we only need one
I
more
don't
star.
know.
You don't know. You still think we need two?
Yeah, I still think we need to. I'm not gonna lie. Not saying that Randall and RJ can't be those two,
Oh
but
no, they can't. I
yeah,
ain't
they
even
can't
talking
be the
about them.
two. Yeah, they
And
need
I'm not
somebody
even talking
different.
about them.
But
I
yeah, I
was
think he
thinking,
can.
right. I was thinking, like, before, I was like, okay, we got Brunson, and you can include RJ and Randall, whatever, but we still
Mhm.
need a number one and a number two,
Right.
right? Even with those three. Now I'm starting to think maybe Brunson could be a number two. I'm starting to think maybe,
I guess
just maybe.
would it depend on who the number one is?
Yeah,
Depending on fit, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Sherman said, I thought Dejounte Murray should have been that guy, not Brunson. Listen,
Yeah,
I like Dejounte Murray,
me
but
too.
Dejounte Murray is not. What am I trying to say? I like Dejounte Murray's skill set. This is a potential triple-double guy every time down. But Dejounte Murray is not somebody that you throwing the ball to and saying, get us this game.
Right.
He's not somebody that down the stretch you're going to. He's not somebody that's taking over a game. Like, I don't see him in that role. And I've only watched him play a few times, on Atlanta's team, so maybe he's changed. But I don't see him being that. I see Brunson being that. I don't see Dejounte being that. Now, if you're talking about being, bringing in two stars, and now you're just saying who's the better fit at point guard, then I get it.
Right.
But in terms of, listen, we need a basket. We in dire straits right now. We need somebody to do something for us right now. I don't see Dejounte as being that.
The way, Queen, the way our
Mhm.
team is constructed, I think Jalen Brunson's a better fit than Dejounte Murray would have been. I don't think he's a. I don't think so. In other words, I don't think he would have made Randall better. I don't think he would have relieved, give Randall the relief that he needs in terms of bringing up the ball, distributing it, and feed the guys where they want to be fed, where they want the ball, put guys in position. I don't think he would have done that as effectively as it looks like Jalen Brunson's starting to get it. He's starting to understand this team. And I don't think Murray would have done that, at least not this fast. You talk about 30 games, So
Yeah, that's I guess that's what I'm alluding to. Like, Brunson just brings a lot of intangibles. He just brings a lot of intangibles to the team. And I get it in terms of his defense, and Murray is taller and Murray's a better defensive player. And blah. I mean, I get it, but the leadership, the
I was about
way
to say the same thing.
the leadership, right?
Yeah, the
The way
leadership.
the Knicks approach this winning streak, the calmness about them, the way they, not getting rattled, I really think a lot of that has to do with Brunson's impact on this team. I really do.
Yep.
Len to Len, I just trust Brunson to make the right play when the pressure is on. He seems to think the game better than Julius. And RJ,
That's
Angel
what's up.
Torres, JB is a Chris Paul with a better offense. Listen, Chris Paul offense is not
I'm about to say
that mid range on
yeah, he can
Chris
play offense
Paul.
too.
Yeah, don't sleep on.
He just old.
Don't
Young
sleep.
Chris Paul was a problem.
Stafford talking about smash the like button. Where you at, Stafford?
Come on,
I
Stafford.
dropped the link. Where you at?
Maybe you missed it.
I think so. Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
saw it.
Sharon, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're talking about stats. I'm not talking about stats. And that's the same thing with Randall. People talking about stats. You look at Randall's stats from his all NBA season to his stats last season, and they're similar. So if you're just focusing on the stats and you're not watching the game, he's the same player, you know? But if you watch the games, you know that Randall was not the same player last year as he was 2 years ago, even though the stats were similar, right? And it's the same thing with Dejounte Murray. It's not about stats. It's about impact on the team. You know, it's about fit. It's about, you know, it's about a lot of, you know, a lot of other things. And listen, I'm a Dejounte Murray fan. And
Yeah.
before Brunson got here, Dejounte Murray was my first choice.
I wanted
Brunson
both
was my
of them.
second choice.
I wanted both of them.
You yeah, right.
I wanted to be greedy. I wanted both of them.
All right. Oh, Stafford's driving home. All right, Stafford, drive safe.
Stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been nice to yeah, Pudge nice. A lot of fans go off names. West Coast Knicks, JB handling the media like a champ, allegations against his dad, tampering charges, etc., taking it and handling it all. What do you think his I mean, it's hard for us to know. What do you think his impact is? What do you guess his impact is on the team in the locker room in terms of their approach to the games? Do you think he has any impact on that, or do you think Tibbs is leading the way as far as that's concerned?
See, it's kind of tough for me because his dad is on the coaching staff. So to me, it seemed like it would naturally be like a extension of the coach. But he just have to have the wherewithal to be like cooler than that, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like your dad is on the coaching staff. That's
Right.
usually like some high school or college stuff. That doesn't usually happen in the NBA. So it's
Right.
kind of hard to tell how that dynamic is when you're all grown men in there. Like almost like I don't care if your dad on the squad. You know what I mean? Like I guess it depends on who you're asking. Like for the young kids,
Mhm.
Jalen Brunson can be that extension of the coach. But for like Randall and maybe Rose or Evan Fournier, the older players, maybe they don't think of him like that. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I just know that he's a leader, and yeah, by the way they approach the game, I think they all had good work ethic from the most part that we've heard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he did play well yesterday. Did his play yesterday change your opinion of him at all?
Nah, not for me. Yeah, not for me. It's just a bad game. But I do think he's the reason. It's not like he's the reason that we lost, but his impact of the game or the little impact that he had was the reason that we lost. Like we could have easily won that game if he had a good game. Like they
Yeah.
obviously focused on him on defense and they took him out of his game, and that's the reason why we lost. We could have easily won that game if he would have had a good game. He had a horrible game. How many points did he score? Like it was less than 10, right?
I
I
believe
don't know,
so.
Jerrell. I don't know about that, man. We lost that game because Siakam went off. I mean, that guy, nobody could check him. He was everybody. Like they kept switching on him, and anybody they put on him, he was like he's running rings around him. So
That's true.
But even with Siakam scoring 52, the Knicks was still right. The Knicks was still
Yeah,
right
we could have
there.
won that
I
game.
mean, Randall, it wasn't one person, but Randall had 30, RJ had 30. That's 60 right there. It was really just him and
IQ had 20.
Yeah,
and
and
Van
IQ
Vliet.
had 20.
And IQ had 20. You know
So
what I
if
mean?
Brunson would have had like if he would have had 16 points, we would have won that game.
How many how many
Like-
points he scored last night, Jalen Brunson?
I gotta look, but I think it was
Probably
less
like-
than 10.
I think it might have been less than 10.
Single digits? Wow.
Yeah, like it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So-
And he had he did have 12 assists, but he had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, and his turnovers too.
And
Like
he had 5 turnovers. But they came out for him from the start, crowding him.
I'm looking at his stats now. He played 39 minutes. He only scored 7 points. He had 12 assists. That's how he impacted the game. But yeah, he wasn't shooting well. Like, he had 7 points. You can't expect to win games when
Thomas
he's
Banks, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with the free throws, because
we missed key free throws. Yep.
The Knicks hit 42 field goals. So did Toronto. The Knicks hit two more 3-pointers than Toronto, right? But the free throws, to me, the free throws was had the Knicks hit their free throws, let me see. We lost by what? 9? It was 106 to 113. So we lost by 7.
7.
Right.
We lost by 7, and we missed 9 free throws.
Yep. I'm looking at it now.
And we missed 5.
And they only missed 2.
And they only missed 2.
They was 90%, 91%. We were
61. We were 61.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Like,
yeah.
That's
so
why
even with all, I mean, listen, we can point to a lot of things: the turnovers, the points off turnovers, the second chance opportunities. Thank goodness they only got 10 points. Because when I was looking at the game, before I looked at the stats, I was like, look at these second chance opportunities. They must have like 20 second chance points.
Yeah.
It was only 10. They wasn't converted, but they was getting, I can't tell you how many second chance points. And to Eru's point, Eru was like, they're not a good team. Well, they're not playing that great. They're just capitalizing off of our mistakes. Like, that was his take on the game.
Yeah, it was the turnovers too. The turnovers were 4 to 16.
Correct.
We have 4 more turnovers, 4 times as many turnovers as they did. So
4 times.
Can't win games like that, and we only lost by 7. So
and was in it. A matter of fact, it was 3 at one point in under 5 minutes or under 3. I mean, the Knicks was right, was right there. So that's why I'm not panicking, because I just felt like they really worked, really play hard to get themselves into the game and to stay in the game. So just since we're talking about the Toronto game, anything about last week's game since we last met that stood out for you? So we played, who did we play? We played Toronto, we played Indiana,
the Warriors,
and we played Golden State.
Yeah, we blew them out.
And blew them out.
We played Golden State. Golden State didn't play us.
Right.
I don't even know how to take from that game.
I don't know what they were doing. And then the next night they went to Brooklyn. They roughed them up just as bad as we did.
Yep.
I think they lost by 30-something points over there too.
Oh, they beat Brooklyn by that much?
No, Brooklyn beat them.
Brooklyn beat them.
Brooklyn beat them by like 30, probably I think 30 points.
Something like that, yeah.
It was a rough visit to New York for them.
I mean, the Knicks made quick work of Golden State, but somewhere in the middle of the third quarter,
it was over.
That game was over.
Yeah, we tossed them aside real quick.
Yeah, I really don't think this past loss was that, wasn't that bad. It's definitely, I don't feel the same as I did as the other losses. Like I said before, it's not like the losses, it's how we lose.
Listen, man.
Right, like we easily could have won that game, but it wasn't a bad loss though. Like, it wasn't a bad loss to me.
Jerrell, I'm still salty about that Brooklyn loss, man.
And the OKC one before that.
How long ago was Brooklyn? Like, I don't know, a month ago. I don't know.
Right.
I'm still pissed. I'm still hot about that one.
It's how we lose. So with the turnovers and the free throws, we could have easily won that game. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it either. Now, Chicago won 2 straight. So we play them tomorrow, and we beat them twice. It's kind of hard to beat a team 3 times. They're going to come in feeling themselves coming off the 2 wins. So they're not going to be dragging in here by any stretch. They're going to be coming in. I don't know if you want to call it revenge, what you want to call it, but they're going to come in, trying to make it 3 straight to get on their own run. Any thoughts on the Chicago game?
Hopefully Grimes can play. Obviously,
Yeah.
Grimes was I don't know, he was missed. Let's just say that he obviously affects winning. Let's just say that even if he doesn't score that many points, he
That's true.
obviously affects winning. Like he was, it was apparent that he wasn't on the floor last night. So like hopefully he'll play, but I actually think that we'll beat Chicago again. I think we got their number. Like I don't see them beating us. Um, the Christmas game after that, that's a different story against Philly, but I think we got Chicago.
I think so too, especially after we lost the game yesterday. I think we're, you think Chicago's coming here for revenge. We're gonna come here and try to make up for, for yesterday, for
Right.
last night. So
Yeah, I don't expect them to play defense like Toronto played defense on Brunson last night. Like they don't have the length for that or the personnel. Like I don't see that.
I mean, they still have some decent play. Well, let me just say I agree with you. I think the Knicks, win this game, and I think that's also another sign of the type of team we have. How you respond coming off of a loss, right? So we'll get a chance to, especially a close, heartbreaking loss like that, right? So we'll get a chance to see how the Knicks respond. Just like when they beat Chicago the first time, I said, well, we're gonna find out a little bit about the Knicks. Can they play the same team 2 nights later and beat them?
in
And they
their
were
own
able,
building.
right, in their own building, and they were able to do that. And we found out a little something about them. So we're gonna find out a little more coming off a tough game from Toronto, facing Chicago, coming in having won 2 straight. You beat them twice in their homes. You know they're gonna be super sharp, wanting to win this game. We're gonna find out a little something more about the Knicks tomorrow night. And in that Philly game, I'm so looking forward to that game. I'm just looking forward to see how we compete against the upper echelon teams.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And right now Philly is 5th place. I want to say
Matter of fact, I will actually probably. Well, it's not like it will be up to me. I guess it depends on the health and the doctors, but keeping Grimes out of the next game just so he can a better chance of playing on Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Philly actually is in 5th place.
Yeah, they one game better than we are.
Yeah, we need
Just
that
one
game.
game. Wow, just one game.
Right, we need that game, man. I'll keep Grimes out if he can.
Yeah, they've won 6 straight, so they're not limping in by any stretch. They're not limping in by any stretch. All right. Any thoughts on the any thoughts on the tampering charges? I know you touched on it, Ajay.
Yeah. So my thing is, it was completely unnecessary for the Knicks to do what they did. It was blatant. I mean, think about it. The day 2 days after your season was over, there was no reason for the whole front office, Julius Randle, for everybody to go down there. I know Knicks Universe, they saying, oh, they had to scout those guys. You don't need to scout those guys, man. You got like thousands of hours of video. You know Jalen Brunson's game. Spider's game. You know what those guys are. You didn't need to go there. Oh, and not only that, they could have got like a box, right? No, but they want to sit front row to like it's basically daring and telling everybody that this is what we're doing. Yeah, right. I mean they deserve it because there was no reason for them to do any of that. So,
salute, Keith. Salute.
What's up, Keith?
Yeah. Listen, we got a plethora of 2nd-round picks.
Yeah, I was gonna be real quick, Steph. I don't care.
I don't care. You want to take a 2nd-round pick in 2025? Listen, we got another one for you as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and by 2025, we'll probably add on another 3-4 2nd-round picks. Anyway.
Correct. In terms of what he means to this team, and how he's helped turn this around.
Yeah,
I'm straight.
We'll give you another one as well. Now, if they would have took a first,
but it was
That's different.
it
That,
was it was
I still would have been okay with it, but it would have been harsh. But I would have been all right. At least we got Jalen Brunson. I'm good still.
right.
it was just unnecessary. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not the penalty is not harsh, for what we have, but it was unnecessary. I feel
It was. I thought
You
it was
mean it was
super throwing out.
unnecessary for the Knicks to? But do you
to
think it
do
would?
all that.
But I don't. But
I didn't
I
like
think
it.
they
I'm not
found
gonna lie.
something else, though. I don't think it was just them going to the game. I think they found something else. Basically,
I
that
think
somebody on the Knicks contacted Brunson prior to free agency starting.
He was
Probably.
his dad. He sees
No, it
him
wasn't
like,
his. It wasn't
I
his
mean,
fault. Wasn't his dad, because they said that obviously a father and son conversation, that wasn't the issue. The issue wasn't them signing Hartenstein, because that was part of it as well.
Mhm.
That was, and also them signing Jalen Brunson. So they found all of that to be legit.
Mhm.
But apparently, because they took phones as well, that they found that somebody contacted Brunson. And I'm saying, why
What's the
would you
point?
even have to do that?
Exactly. What's
Why
the
would
point?
you have to contact Brunson directly prior to free agency?
it's
I don't
completely
get it.
unnecessary.
Yeah,
But
his
Queen,
father is on the staff. Any information you
exactly.
need,
There
you
you
can
go.
get it from him.
Completely unnecessary. And don't you feel they opened the investigation probably because they went to that, because they did all that.
Maybe.
They would have no clue. Like these
Yeah.
guys, they talk behind the closed doors all the time. The
Right.
NBA doesn't know, but
Right.
you want to be blunt, be blatant about it. Yeah, they're gonna start looking at you.
Right. And then you didn't even need to sign him that quick. Relax.
Yeah, you got them. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to
was
sign him at 12:10. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Or wait,
funny.
no, I
Yeah.
think it opened at 6.
yeah.
Opened at 6 o'clock, 6:30. He was signed. Like,
I don't know,
relax.
Steph. If they would have lasted a day, Knicks
Somebody else
fans.
could have got in there.
I'm about to
Somebody
say
else could have
Knicks.
snuck in there.
Nope. I gotta disagree with you there. They should have got him at 12:01 if that was the case. Because
That's true. Things change on a dime. You right
Yep.
about that. You right about that. Miami, took their time with
Yep.
Dwayne Wade. Next thing you know, he in
He
Chicago.
in Chicago chilling. He already there. He was already there before they even contacted him.
They was like, but I thought we had an understanding we was gonna
Yeah.
sign what was it, Whitehead or whatever his name,
Whiteside.
Hassan
Whiteside first,
Yeah,
and then we was gonna get to you.
this Wade County. This Wade County. Yeah, all right. Like I'm going home. And they gave me a bigger check. I'll be back.
Okay. Pudge Knight said they had to secure JB because the fan base was calling for them to be fired. Julius Randle was even there. Now, Julius Randle grew up in Dallas. He had a home there. So I don't know if he came with them or if he was already
that
there.
That look crazy though. Like the star of the team plus like multiple front office people. Yeah, that did look crazy.
Wait. In the courtside.
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 Right. R.D. Barnes said, yeah, the thirst was real. They made it too obvious.
They was sitting next to like Reggie Miller during the game. Like they was right there.
Right. Mark Cuban is praying they don't give us a number 11 selection next year.
That's funny.
Yes, Keith Turner. He has a home in Dallas. So I don't know. I don't think he went with the front office. I think he was he was already there. But yeah. Anyway, the Knicks calling Toronto about Anunoby. Your thoughts on that? Give me.
Well, he is a good player. I do want him, but I guess it just depends on what the package is.
Exactly.
And plus, he's very, very injury prone. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't think the compensation is going to be like Donovan Mitchell compensation, but it's just the fact that we are going to give up players and draft capital for a player that can barely play 60 games in a season sometimes. So we'll see. I do like the player though. He's 3-and-D guy. He will fit right there at the 3. RJ could slide to the 2. And, I'd be happy, but, it's just his injuries.
If we're trading players who are currently not part of the rotation, I'm all in for it. Otherwise, no.
None of them.
But what
Who?
players that are not that are in the rotation that you wouldn't want to trade?
Yeah.
And I mean, and I don't think I want to trade. If I have, like, if I don't know, I don't know. I wouldn't
So
trade. I would definitely not. Go ahead, Jerrell.
I was about to say, so if they want Obi, IQ, and maybe 2 first, you're not doing that?
No. If they
Why?
want, if they want OBIQ,
Yeah.
a second, like a few seconds, 10 seconds, fine. But I think
10 seconds. 10 seconds? That's
yeah,
crazy. That's funny.
OB and IQ to me is enough to get OB and OG and
No, that's not going to be enough.
Nah, I don't even
That is not going to get enough to get. And listen, the Knicks have 11 first-round draft picks. So as long as the Knicks have enough first-round draft picks to get a star, I'm okay with them giving up first-round draft picks.
Yep.
But don't give up so many that now, I don't know,
when the star becomes available, you can't.
You don't have it.
Right.
But they have 11. They have
Right.
11, so they can afford to give up some for Anunoby, who is a two-way player. But I hear you,
Right.
Jerrell, in terms of the injury concern. But maybe he's turned the corner. Like Embiid was injury prone and turned the corner. A few other guys had
He was
injuries.
hurt last week though, Steph. He
I
just
know.
came
All right,
back against
all
us.
right, all right.
So that's my only thing. My only thing is the
But
injuries. Oh,
but
somebody
his-
asked me about my
He's
bad.
25.
Somebody
Yeah,
asked me about
he's
what
young.
about Grimes? Would I trade Grimes for OG?
I don't know. The thing is, even
That's a
if
good question.
even if we want to trade a couple of first round picks, but Masai Ujiri up there, he's not taking any of those heavily protected firsts. He's gonna want something real good.
Right.
What's
You know what I mean?
James Glass, I agree with you. I read that as well, and I would not do it. If they're asking for basically the Donovan Mitchell package, I'm not giving them that package for Anunoby.
Yeah. I mean,
So I definitely agree with that.
Would Grimes be in the package though, even if it's not the Donovan Mitchell package? Say if they want Obi, Grimes, and 2 first. He got to go, Steph. I'm sorry.
we don't want to give up Grimes for Donovan Mitchell. We want to give him up for OG Anunoby.
I didn't say that was right for them to do that either.
I didn't think that was right for the Knicks.
I thought that was dumb for them to do. Grimes
Yeah,
wouldn't be
I think
playing
so
in
too.
Utah if it was up for me. Like, I gave up Grimes for Donovan Mitchell.
But guys,
Definitely.
wait, didn't RJ had a? I mean, not RJ. Donovan Mitchell did an interview. He said he heard that they wanted RJ Barrett and a bunch of picks, and we said no.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right. I disagree with that.
Just RJ. And man, listen. Goodbye, RJ. I like RJ, but goodbye.
Yeah, so Grimes, don't get me wrong, it's not like I want to get rid of Grimes, but to get OG, like it's just you gotta give something to get something. Like he just had to go. But I would like to keep him though. Like I would rather give up IQ than give up Grimes.
What if they want? They don't want RJ, but
No.
would you trade RJ for Anunoby?
I would.
No.
I would.
Injuries. Just because of injuries.
Just
RJ,
because of injuries.
yeah, RJ, you gotta think about it. RJ is an ox. Like he ain't going nowhere. Like he's gonna be there damn near 82 games. Unless, Tibbs run him to the ground. But yeah, RJ is he's going to be at least solid. He could be inconsistent, but OG was inconsistent at this time too. Like he was not like he was nasty as soon as he came into the league. So yeah,
But that defense was always it. But
Yes, it
what
was.
makes that's what makes OG tempting for me,
right
is his defense.
Yeah, they're two different
It's
type
his
of players.
defense. Yeah, and I just think that at this point in the Knicks roster, and I'm hoping the front office is finally getting this, do not bring in any one-sided players from now on. Like, don't bring in any offensive players that can't play defense. Don't bring any defensive players that can't play offense. We got a lot of that too. We look at our second unit, we got some horses on defense. You're not getting much offensively from Sims. You're not getting much offensively from McBride, though McBride lately has been hitting his 3-point shot.
I'm glad you noticed, Steph.
Yes, I have noticed that, and
Glad you
he's more
noticed.
confident too. He came
Yep.
down, he just pulled up, he just brought the
Yep.
ball down and pulled. He better have hit that shot.
Yep. To be honest, I even saw like a little more confidence out of Grimes too. Like the one time Grimes came off a screen,
Mhm.
he got that ball and shot it so fast. I was like, okay, Grimes. Like you could tell that he was, he was locked in. It only happened that one time the whole game, but like if they did it more often, he'd score more.
But
That's not how offense is.
with the Deuce McBride, what I don't understand is that when he plays in the G League, I mean, he really scores. But in the NBA, they don't defend. Like, there's no serious defense on him that much that he can't hit the shot. It's the same shot. And they don't be guarding him that much that he can't hit the shot. So I don't know if
But
he's
he's
just
in a
gotta get
different
used to it.
role though. I don't see him being that aggressive on the Knicks. Like it's not his role to just kind of come down, go to the basket, come down, pull up. Like the things he do in the G League, that's just not his role on the Knicks.
Yeah, he got the green light in Westchester.
Yeah.
Like
He can shoot whenever he want.
Whenever he want. Like if he do that now, like Tibbs will sit him down quick.
Right. And also game speed is different. But to your point, it's not like they're D'ing up on him and playing him
Right.
really hard. Deuce has no bag. Yeah, he definitely has to get better. He's good. Like came down, pull up. Nobody was really suspecting that. You swing the ball around on a catch and shoot, he's good that way. But putting the ball in his hands and asking him to like create separation and create that's just not his game right now, and that's okay. I mean, we don't really need him to do that. But I like the way McBride is playing. I love Sims.
Yes.
I just love Sims.
He's getting better and better too.
He's getting better and better. Offensively, though, he
that's
what I'm saying about us having these half players. Real good defense. You're not getting a lot of offense. Good on offense, like say a Fournier. You're not getting much on defense. Like from here on out, front office, we need two-way players.
Right.
That's it. We just need two.
They're hard to find though.
They are.
They're very hard to find. So it's easier said than done. But yeah, that's clearly what we need.
Yeah, no doubt. James Glass, confidence too. It's way different shooting threes in a packed arena versus the G League.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think his confidence has a lot to do with it too. But I think Deuce will be okay. I think the more minutes he has, the better Deuce will be.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As well. But did you notice Jericho Sims when he was on Siakam? Anytime Siakam like pulled the ball back out, like took like 3 back dribbles to set his move up, Sims just went. He moved up as well.
Yep. Because
he would take. He was like, I can move my feet, and he got into foul trouble. But I just love the moxie on that kid. He was like, sometimes guys, take some back dribbles. They'll just stand there and wait for him to come back. He was like, nah, he could shoot it from there. So every time he backed up, he took steps forward. Sims, yeah, I really like him. And in my opinion, I hope when Obi comes back, they extend the rotation. And we talked about this off air. We could talk a little bit about it now. I know, Ajay, you thought that the Knicks playing defense was a coincidence and it had nothing to do with shortening the rotation. I think it did have something to do with shortening the rotation. I just think at one point we was playing 11 and it was just too much for people to get into a defensive groove. Once we shrunk it down, everybody knew where they were supposed to be. You knew who was coming in. It wasn't, now it's Cam. Now we playing 11. Now this guy is coming in. Like, no, just defensive-minded guys. However, I don't know how sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
I don't think it is. But who do you put back in the rotation? You bringing Fournier back into the rotation?
When Obi comes back, he goes back into the rotation.
You put Obi. Listen. Hold on, and I'm gonna let you talk. Right now, the reason why we're playing well is everybody on this team is playing defense. Even RJ and Randall. Now, they may not be playing it at 100%, but Randall's been a turnaround off the ball in terms of his defense. RJ, I read an article that part of his slow start was because of the contract. He wasn't playing in open gyms or what have you because he didn't want to get hurt. That's what usually happens, prior to signing your contract. So he's just now getting into shape. He's looking a little better. We really pretty much went going with defensive-minded players. And now you're going to put Obi Toppin in the lineup.
If Obi wasn't the first draft pick of this front office, he should be situational.
Or traded. We can get some good value for him.
Or traded, but he will be situational before he's traded, though, just like they're doing Cam.
But so speaking of Cam, in my opinion, he plays good defense.
Cam is over. Like we need to just.
No, I know that. I understand that. But
like,
he plays good defense, but he's not in the rotation.
But I think he plays a different type of defense. I think he plays a passing lane defense. He plays well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say yeah, he's a good defensive player, but he's not. Yeah. But is he somebody that you can like put in front of somebody and they're not going to get past him? I think he uses his length a lot.
He does.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna take anything from him. He was horrible in that Dallas game, but in all fairness, his leash is real short.
They'll pass him, but he recovers. His leash is real,
and he'll recover. Correct. His leash is real short. And that Dallas game, he was a hot mess. But everybody has, bad defensive games, and his leash is just shorter than the others.
And I think RJ probably has had more bad defensive games than anybody else, but he's still there. I mean, his defense has been trash. Not trash, but it has not been on point all year.
You could have said trash. You could have said trash. You could have kept it with trash. Like you'll be right.
I mean, I don't.
I mean, prior to this turnaround, not him. His defense.
No, but I don't like. He in his head, he's trying. He's just not. His body just doesn't.
In his
follow up what the head is doing.
In his head,
I mean, he's talking a good game. He talk, I want to be all defensive, but you got to play defense with more than just your mouth, with just your words, So
let's just say, like last game showed you that Cam is done here because they had no reason not to play him.
Yeah.
So they don't want him to get hurt. He's on a trading block and he's done.
He was Same thing with Fournier. He was the obvious choice to step into the starting lineup.
Yeah,
with the Quentin Grimes going out, and he played not 1 second. So
or even if it wasn't the starting lineup, even if he came off the bench, like RJ played 46 minutes last night,
right
on the tail end of a back-to-back, like
right.
That means they're not playing Cam ever. Like it's over.
Yeah, it's over, and that's why I think we need more players on our bench. I mean, in the rotation, I just don't think they're on our bench. If we're saying Cam is not, because Cam would be the likely choice, but it looks like he's not. Who else you putting in? I wouldn't put in Obi. I wouldn't put in Fournier. I wouldn't put in who are you putting in that's going to win? Now you can argue that the defense is solidified now, and once you have a solidified defense, you can cover up one player who's not a great defender. So you can argue that. So if you want to argue that, then that does bode well for putting Obi back. Like you could cover for him if everybody else is playing well. And Obi was averaging 10 or 11 points when he went out, and we do need some more offense in that second unit.
True. We
don't really have a lot of offense in the second unit, other than Quickly, who was struggling, doing better now, past 2 games, but who was struggling. Not a lot of offense in that second unit.
Yeah. Trying to think, but when Obi does come back, though, I don't know. Like Grimes being hurt with addition to Obi, I just don't want the defense to go back onto how it was, because the real coincidence about the defense is when shorten up the rotation, forced Quentin Grimes and Deuce to play more minutes. that was the defensive switch, at least for me. That was the coincidence. As soon
Right.
as they started playing more minutes, we started playing better defense. Now that Grimes is hurt, if Grimes is hurt and Obi comes back and pretty much takes a lot of his minutes, then it might revert back to how it was before. We'll see, though.
Kareem Grant said he would try Svi.
That's another non-defender, though, but he can shoot, though. I do like his shot. Like, he can shoot. I like it. I like his game. He can play, but he don't play no defense either.
His shot is automatic, man.
Yep.
When they don't go in, you're like, what? That didn't go in?
Right,
Because you expect it to go in.
And he don't play no defense, though. He's not a good defender.
Appreciate
But I hope
you,
he,
quiet money.
like, you know,
No, go
I'd
ahead.
be shocked if he got more. I'd be shocked if he got more minutes just because of defense and how Tibbs is.
Right.
If it was me, he'd get more, a little more burn. But yeah, I just don't see it with Tibbs.
Yeah. If Obi does come back and he's situational, then we know that this is an emergency situation. Like,
Right.
like,
Tibbs coaching
like,
for his he coaching for his
Like-
NBA life.
like wow, the 8th pick. And remember, Obi as a rookie was a hot mess.
Yep.
And they still gave him, his minutes.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get back in the rotation, that's telling you right now, okay, they real serious right now. They real serious right now. Pudge Nice says that's why they got to make trades. Too many people injured and rotting on the bench. Front office bugging. I mean, I'm sure they're trying, but who's taking 48's contract with 2 seasons left? That's going to be hard. Cam, how much value does he have around the league?
Wait, you said Randall's who's contract?
Fournier.
Fournier.
Fournier's contract. He has 2 years left. That's not going to be easy to move.
It's 1 and 1 though. No, he has
This year and
No.
next year. I thought his last year was next year. Right?
no.
Last
Is it
year's next year.
next year's last year?
Yes, and then he has
And
a
then the
year
year
after
after
that.
is the
Is
team
the
option?
option year? Is the option year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so wait a minute. It's 2 years after this one?
No. This year, next year, the 3rd year will be the option year. So next
Okay.
year, isn't expiring.
Okay, got you.
Next year is expiring,
Yeah.
and then Cam, how much value does he have? The Knicks will. I read somewhere that the Knicks want to protect it first.
Unprotected
Protected.
first for Cam?
No,
Protected first.
one. Protected first for Cam. I'll take it.
But no, of course
Depends
we'll
on the
take it.
protection.
But are we gonna? Who's giving it up?
Exactly. Like
So
he's on an expiring contract right now. So
Yeah, we're talking
see.
about that now, Greg. And we'll get to Trey Young. Yeah. So Cam Reddish, what are you gonna get?
so what? Like, are we getting like 2 firsts for Cam?
No, you probably gonna get a second,
Just 1 second.
maybe 2. But I'm just saying
2
you're not
seconds.
getting.
Christ, this guy.
Yeah.
He's better than that, man.
2 seconds.
He's
for
worth
Cam.
more than 2 second.
But why do you think so? And I don't want to go down this Cam road again. But why do you think he's worth that? Because of his potential or because of what he showed?
because
what
of
he's
he
done.
showed, what he's done.
Okay.
He's inconsistent, yes, but so are his minutes. But
we're not just talking about New York. We're talking about his entire career.
Same thing in
Yeah,
Atlanta. Well, I don't know. I didn't really follow him that much in Atlanta.
I follow him in Atlanta. It's kind of hard to judge. It's kind of hard to judge Cam's, value in the league, to be honest, just because he has been hurt so much. Like if he wasn't injured, he probably have a better grasp on how valuable he would be. But yeah,
Mhm.
like you probably right, Steph. We probably get 2 seconds, or maybe like I don't know,
Maybe a protected first. I
maybe
mean,
protect it first.
if we got a protected first, I would be, I would be ecstatic if we're able to get a protected first.
I thought the Lakers wanted him. Why don't the Lakers make a move?
They don't have any first.
They do. Not nothing in next year, but they do have in 2027 maybe.
I'm not giving. If you got
That's
2
5
first
years from
round
now.
picks, you're giving up one of them for Cam?
Nah.
Nah, that's not the level. They only got 2 in
I'd
the
be
next
shocked.
5 years.
Yeah.
From what I'm reading, that they're trying to hold on to that 4-star. You
Who,
know,
the Lakers?
yeah.
Yeah.
They have nothing in their cupboard right now. They have nothing.
Like I was like, okay. I don't know who they give it up, but that's a cool story.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And then the other rumor was that Trey Young may axe out. I'm not interested in
Let me see.
Trey
I'm
Young.
not interested in it. I don't think he's going anywhere anyway. I think they will fire Nate McMillan super fast before they get rid of Trey Young. That's
Right,
nuts.
right,
No way I'm keeping Nate McMillan over my superstar.
right,
No.
right.
No way. He wasn't even their coach to begin with. He was their assistant coach, and he got remember their coach got fired and he was the interim coach and they just hired him.
Right.
I don't see them
Right.
giving away their superstar because of Nate McMillan.
Right.
No way.
Right. But this is what I will say. And it's funny how we talk about our teams, but if you get into those other chats and what have you, they really down on Trey Young, that he's a high volume shooter.
Don't play defense.
He doesn't play defense. He's not a winner. He's never shot the 3-pointer. Like, he has this perception of being a great 3-point shooter, but he shoots in like the low 30s. And like you said, he doesn't play defense. So a lot of Atlanta fans, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of Atlanta fans are through with him.
Yep. Especially since they got Murray now.
Especially since they got Murray.
If they think Trey's expendable, he could just take Trey's spot and they get another 2-guard in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. I would prefer somebody else.
But what about that? What about that Patrick Beverly trade? Patrick Beverly, what's the other cat they used to be in Miami?
Oh,
Jay Crowder?
No.
None.
Kendrick Nunn. Yeah.
I mean, they're expiring.
And we'd send Kendrick Nunn on his way. We can't do anything with him.
I don't see the point of Pat Bev if we got Deuce.
I think Pat Bev is better than well, it depends on what we're trying to do. It depends on what we're trying to do.
Like I no, don't get me wrong. I think he is better than Deuce, but if all we need is just another perimeter defender, like I get like Pat Bev got experience in the playoffs, and we're trying to be a playoff team, but like I don't know. I don't see it.
I hear that. But now the past few years, I don't know about last year, the past 3 years, two years or so, he's been hitting the 3 much better.
Queen, stop.
No, I'm telling you the truth.
Listen,
well, I don't remember. I ain't gonna lie. I take your word for it. I don't remember the last time I looked at Pat Bev threes. I ain't gonna lie. But I take your word for it, though. He probably is shooting them better. You mostly older guards that can't shoot actually come around.
He is shooting it better, but he has to be so bad that even his better is not good.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it off.
What's his percentage?
Okay, career 37.4%. All right, in 2017, I'll make sure I'm looking at the right person. Patrick Beverly. We start at 2017-18, 40%. 2018-19, 39%. 2019-2020, 38%. 2020-21, 39.7%.
Yeah, so he's obviously a better 3-point shooter than
now. He has struggled this year. Last year as well. Last year was down to 34%. And this year he's not shooting it.
This year's 27%.
He's at 27%. But historically, for his career, he's 37.4%. So he can hit the 3.
Yeah. Salute to CC. Salute to CC in the chat. He said Pat got 6 fouls to use right now. any game on the schedule, he got 6 fouls to use. Believe that.
Yeah. But
yeah, like I wouldn't hate it.
I'm okay with McBride. But if the Knicks are trying to make a playoff push and they feel like they need an experienced guard,
yeah,
I don't have a problem with
if they'll take Derrick Rose for Pat Beverly, sure.
Well, you don't have to. It's Fournier. That's who they want.
Yeah, I don't think they
They could
want
have
Derrick
Fournier.
Rose.
Yeah, but the issue is for the Knicks fans. Are you more interested in McBride or are you more interested in winning? Because some Knicks
Right.
fans are, oh, don't trade for this. They're going to take minutes away for so and so, even if that person makes us a better team.
Right.
And I'm for making us a better team.
Right. We'll see. But yeah, the only thing about the Fournier trade, Ajay, are you willing to give them a first round pick to take Fournier?
No,
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 Because I think that's what the holdup is.
no.
no.
I'm not giving up anything to get rid of Fournier.
I think
Right.
that's why Fournier hasn't been traded yet, because teams want us to give up a pick to get take him off their hands because he's making money and not playing.
Yeah, making money, but those trades, the money has to match. So we're gonna take the same amount of money back. And it's
No, but there aren't expiring contracts that he's not.
I don't
That's
know
the difference.
who do they have, who's they, like who they have on the table, because I don't know.
Who's
I
that?
haven't.
Not Pat Bev and Kendrick Nunn. They're both on expiring contracts.
So the
Oh,
Lakers.
Fournier. Right.
So that's what the trade was. So Pat Bev, okay.
Yeah, so it was
Fournier.
them two for Fournier and a first round pick, whether it be protected or whatever. It's like Fournier and a first round pick for Pat Bev and Kendrick Nunn.
Oh, I didn't know it was a first round, a first round as well. Nah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's why it didn't happen. That's why I think they
No,
didn't do it.
no. We not giving up. No, and there was a report that the Knicks weren't giving up any first round picks to get off any contracts.
Yep, and that's why I think he's still here.
Yeah, and you know what? The Knicks, they're in no rush to get rid of Fournier. Like, it doesn't bother anybody. He's already on the payroll. They'll wait around for the right deal. In free agency, they'll wait around. They don't have
Right.
There's no rush.
I agree with you. There's no rush. If you can't find a player that's going to help this team for the assets that you're willing to give up, rock out with this team for the rest of the season and see how far you go, and then go into the off season and retool. I mean, that's kind of how I see the Knicks going right now. Like, just reshaping the team as time goes on until they eventually, hopefully, reshape it into a championship contending team, like making changes piece by piece. Shout out to Greg. What do you think is holding up Evan trade? We haven't heard anyone. I think what's holding it up is that he has 2 years left.
Yeah, that is exactly what I said.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
not
expiring.
expiring.
Right.
Right.
So they probably want us to give up a pick to get rid of him because he's not expiring. What are we trading him for?
Right. Pat would bring that energy. I mean, the one thing I will say, if we were ever able to get a Pat Beverly and a Jay Crowder, and I'm not saying that those guys are going to be, offensive juggernauts for us, but in terms of toughness, and having an enforcer and just changing the grittiness of the team. Oh my goodness. My. We was talking about that on the Queen's Court Monday. Those two guys.
Yep. They'll help a lot. And not only would we make the playoffs, depending on who we match up with, we'd be a favorite to win a series.
Really?
That's
now,
how
you
good
guys
defensively
convinced
we
me on Jay Crowder, because I was like, I don't know about Jay Crowder, but a lot of people are high on him. So
backing up Randall, he's a perfect fit for this team. Backing up Randall, like he does exactly what Obi doesn't do.
Right, and that's the thing. Those two guys would change the complexion of our team, and they wouldn't play a lot of minutes. Because if you're playing behind Randall and you're playing behind Brunson, you're not getting a lot of minutes. 12, 14. Maybe we can bring Randall's minutes down. I mean, his minutes are pretty high.
But Jay Crowder, he's not coming here to back up Randall, though, because his whole beef with the Phoenix Suns is that he's not starting. He's playing behind Cam Johnson.
Well,
but I think that was because they promised him something. I don't think that's
probably
that he wants to be a starter. I think he fell out with them because apparently they promised him something and they didn't deliver.
And plus, backing up Cam Johnson ain't the same as backing up Julius Randle. That's almost a little bit, that would be a little disrespectful to Julius Randle. Like, I wouldn't even compare. Like, if I'm Jay Crowder, I probably would be pissed that I'm, not starting over Cam Johnson, too. That's Cam Johnson. But if you Randle, though,
Right.
like, he shouldn't expect to start over Julius Randle. You can't do that.
Right.
That'd be crazy to him.
Yeah, appreciate you, James Glass. His beef with Phoenix is an extension that didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know his contract situation. That could be it, too.
He's on this year and next year, Jay Crowder. Oh, maybe next year is a team option. I don't remember. But I thought they signed him for 3 years.
Yeah, I hear you, Sherwin. He's 6'6", but he plays bigger than that.
Yeah. He played bigger than Obi. I'm just talking about him being like a backup power forward for us. Like, he would be a better fit than Obi.
I don't know about CAA Mafia. Listen, I'm high on Grimes too. But you just, as the players, I mean, I wouldn't limit myself to just Jalen Brown and Booker.
Yeah.
I would
That
just
list
take
need to
them
be a
as it
little
comes.
longer.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, the list would have to be a little longer than that.
Oh, so Jay Crowder is expiring this year. He did sign a 3-year contract. And this season, 22-23 is his last.
So he wants an extension.
He wants an extension. So yeah,
and apparently they promised it. As far as James Glass, I mean, James Glass said that's what they promised him.
Yes, that's probably right.
All right,
he's unrestricted after the season.
This comment is about to be a bit triggering, so I'm gonna just say it before I put it up. So those who want to turn, like when the movies come on to me, like this is rated R, they have a little disclaimer. There's some bias, so this is a little triggering.
What's that?
I'm gonna put it up there. Oh, not better. I thought it said was better than Cam, but I was like to say, oh, that's triggering.
Which Cam we talking about though? The Cam on his team or the Cam on ours?
I think he's talking about the Cam on our team. But I thought he said he was better than Cram. I said, oh, that's going to be triggering. Like, that's going to be triggering right there. Yeah. But I think he's saying, I think he is. Because, listen.
Yeah. I was just going to say for what he does and what Tibb wants, his players to do, that he's the perfect fit for Tibbs, to be honest.
Well, put it that way, he's a better fit.
Yeah, exactly. He's not better, but he would fit better. That's right.
Exactly. It's not about who's the better talent at this point. We're talking about like backups now. Like for Tibbs, to fit Tibbs, Jay Crowder is perfect. If Randle wasn't here, he'd start him.
I don't like him though. I kind of hold a grudge to him.
Why?
Since remember that altercation with Elf? When Elf mushed him, when he played with Miami, I hold that grudge, man.
That was like 2 years ago.
No, it might have been longer than that.
It was longer. He was in Miami. That was like 4 years ago.
Oh,
yeah, man. I was like, yeah, Elf.
He didn't change. Wait, so he didn't change teams, and you still mad at him?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Jerrell,
I let that go, man.
Listen, I'm still pissed about the Brooklyn loss as if it happened yesterday, man. I'm telling you. I won't get over that until we beat Brooklyn.
I ain't gonna lie. That Brooklyn loss pissed me off too. Like, you should. I don't know if you paid attention because that next show that we had, people did not like me very much. It was a whole bunch of negativity.
No, yeah, I watched the show. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, oh. God,
yeah, we was bad. Like that, like the OKC loss and the Brooklyn loss right after that. Yeah, I was pissed.
Let me tell you, man. OKC's on the West Coast. I don't care. Like, okay, we had a stinker game, but that's Brooklyn, man. You got to come out for Brooklyn, man. You got to fight.
Yeah,
I don't know, tackle somebody. I don't know. Like, if listen, man. Right. I don't know, man. Hard fouls. You got to do something. You can't just lay down and take the spanking.
Yeah. I don't know, Kareem Grant. I think the Knicks are hunting for bigger fish than that.
Do you think the front office will bring back? See, it don't seem like he want to come over here. You know what? I gotta ask Andy. Like, when last time we talked to Andy about Rokobitis or Jokobitis or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seemed like he doesn't want to come over here. The way Andy talk about him, it seemed like if he does come over here, like his skill set would be more like Dragic. And I don't know if we need Dragic right now. know what I'm saying? Even if he is, good, since we got Jalen Brunson over here. So I don't know. Like
Right.
that's him being the backup point guard. I just don't see it right now.
On this
Right.
Rockets thing, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
I don't really follow other teams, so I don't know if they do that. But the Knicks, every couple of years, do this
Mhm.
draft and stash. What's the point of that?
Oh, every team does that.
But
Just to
why?
have
But
talent.
why?
Just to have
Why?
talent.
And they
I'm,
don't count against your salary cap. If they're
Right.
not ready, you're bringing them over. They're counting against your salary cap, and they're not getting any burn.
Right.
This way, you just
yeah, but
stash them over them, let them continue to play, get better. And sometimes it's a contract issue, so you just want to have their rights.
you waste a draft pick to get that player
But if
that
it's a
you don't use.
second round player, if it's a second round pick,
Rokas was at second round, was he? He was late first.
I think he was a second
Nah, he
round.
was early second.
He was a second round pick.
He was right before Deuce, right?
Right before Deuce.
Both of
Yeah.
them were the early second round picks, and then
Did they
then
trade?
was
They did a trade, and then they got 2 picks, and then
Right.
Rokas.
right,
Right.
right. They had traded down.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of teams do the stash and grab thing. Like it's about talent and just acquiring talent, whether you stash them over there or see if they're ready for
Right.
the NBA. A lot of those kids overseas been playing pros since they was like 14, 15 years old, but that doesn't mean they're ready for the NBA. Like it's a little different.
Right. I didn't hear that. I know Greg was saying something about DeMar DeRozan. I didn't hear anything about him asking out
Oh,
of Chicago.
Where he
I
going?
didn't hear that.
He just got there. Where he going?
Right.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. They make it seem like Zach LaVine is unhappy there. To be honest, not DeMar DeRozan, but I could be wrong though. Like people acting like Zach LaVine doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, it happens because you don't have the spots for your draft pick. Right. Right.
And
Right.
Lonzo
Anything-
Ball. And remember when we're a lot of fans wanted Lonzo Ball, right, for point guard
I did.
as a point guard.
I did as well.
I did.
I did as well at that time.
Yep. I like his
Having
game.
a defensive minded point guard who was who was pass first. I definitely wanted him at the time.
He perfectly fits Tibbs too. But in hindsight, obviously it would have been a bad move because of the injuries. But just for his skill set and what he does, like he would have been perfect for Tibbs.
I mean, he is really not available.
Well, he's hurt.
I know.
Yeah.
Huh.
He is hurt. Wesley Robinson, Jalen Brunson will be in the next All-Star game. All right, Nick family, All-Star voting is open. So every day you can vote once every 24 hours. So it's not just one time. So every 24 hours, go to NBA.com and put in your vote for whichever Nick you think should be on the All-Star.
You know what? I'm
team.
gonna be a little more direct because we actually talked about this just before we got on.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle is playing. He's playing All-Star ball right now for us. At least the past 10 games. We're probably the only fan base that I want to say dislike one of our better players so much. And I'm reading the comments on the chat. I mean, these guys really dislike Julius Randle, no matter how well he plays.
He's polarizing. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but he's played any other market, like they'd be voting for him like every 24 hours right now. He would have been on the All-Star team. And you know what? They put him on the list. Let's go out there and give him that love, man. Let's give him that support. Don't do it for Julius. Do it for the team. You want to have a couple of Knicks, as part of the All-Star game, man.
Well, Brunson too.
And that's a couple. So
I mean,
both Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, they both playing. I mean, they belong in the conversation.
They both do.
And
as long as we're winning, they both do.
We're one of the largest fan base in the world. So if we collectively keep voting for those guys, man, we're gonna get them in. So
yeah.
Let's make it happen, Knicks Nation.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's
I'm
up.
up here. I'm
And
up here reading the chat.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
The love that CAA Mafia and Pudge Nice have for Julius Randle is complete, is amazing.
Salute Nick Nation 1112. Almighty Finesse said OG Anunoby is on the way. Anunoby is on the way.
We'll see.
We should
For
be.
Who we giving up for him?
Mm,
We the biggest.
as long as it ain't the top 3 players on our team, well, I'm okay if they traded RJ. But I get you. I mean, I wish the injury history wasn't there.
Well,
If the injury history wasn't there,
Queen.
this would be an easier conversation to have.
Like you just said, maybe he turned the corner. He just came back, but maybe he turned the corner with the injury stuff.
Yeah, and plus,
But he wasn't out that long, was he?
He's out every season. He's out.
I'm about to say
Every
when.
year.
What time? what time you talking about?
Jarrell, it's like which season and which part of which
Yeah,
season?
he out a lot. And to be honest, I don't think we should just throw the whole RJ, not going to Toronto under the rug like it's nothing. I mean, you never know. They could want RJ like that. That is RJ not a hero. Like he's too young to be a hero, but like RJ is a thing in Toronto. Like he's a big deal. We might not see it because we ain't there, but RJ is a big deal in that city.
Yeah. I mean, if they would
like they love RJ out there. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Anything else that I didn't bring up today? Oh, go ahead, Adrian.
No, I was gonna say. So I'm reading the chat. There's a couple of comments. They all really the same. So if you look at Knicks Nation 112, Queen, I don't know if you could post that. They're saying Randall scored 30 points, but we still don't win. He's not a winner. Listen, there's 8 other players in the rotation. What does that have to do with Randall? So Randall scored.
Hold on. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how is that?
But it wasn't just him, right? But wait. You can say the problem with RJ is not that he's good. He just isn't good enough. With a 30-point game, it was not enough to bring us. Why is it just Randall?
Yeah.
Why is not RJ? Why is it not Brunson?
That's what I'm saying. And Randall had a great listen. Randall, he scored 30 points yesterday. He shot almost 75% or 70%. I mean, he had a monster game yesterday. So if they lost the game, it's absolutely not him. He played defense yesterday. He had like 13 rebounds, only 2 turnovers. I mean, he was great yesterday. But
that's the problem with the fan base, though. Once you dislike a player,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. The narrative just doesn't change.
And here's another one. CAA Mafia. Randall's been dropping double his whole life. It has 1 winning season. What, it's just him? What about the rest of the team? It's not him.
Right.
He does his part. I don't understand the logic. I don't get it.
Right. It's not who else was on the team.
Right.
It's just him.
It's just him.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Randall fan, but I don't dislike him like that, though. Yeah, I don't blame him for some of that stuff that everybody else be blaming him for.
And when you go, I guess when you think about this the opposite way, right? You got a guy like Robert Horry who won 7 chips. He just so happened to be on the right team at the right time. Does that make him the greatest basketball player ever? No. It's the rest of the team. Like, who was he with? He's got more rings than Jordan.
Right.
Was he better? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand how I don't get it. Like, I don't.
CAA Mafia, how many shots would RJ get on a real contender? How many shots would Brunson get on a real contender? How many shots? We're not on a real contender. We're on the Knicks. So we got to focus on the players who are playing for the Knicks. Right now, Randall is playing well, and we're winning, and he's a big reason why we're winning. I mean, I get it. I like Randall, but I see him for what he is, now.
Right.
I'm not, and I call him out when he's not playing well. Like that stretch of defense and before the starting lineup change, he was terrible off the ball. So you can like a player and still see it for what it is, and you can not like a player and still see it for what it is.
Yeah, they dislike Julius Randle, so no matter what he does, it'll make a difference.
Salute to Knicks fan Brazil.
Knicks fan Brazil, what's up?
Knicks fan Brazil, appreciate you. Oh, the wrong one.
Word. Salute.
Yeah, definitely.
And they like RJ, so no matter how bad RJ plays, it's like, yeah, let's develop him. He's been developing for 4 years. His defense is still horrible. Actually, his defense is worse this season than it's been in years past. But hooray for RJ.
Right. Knicks fan Brazil, DM me and I would love to go on your show.
Yeah, I saw the one.
Definitely.
Yeah. I saw the one with him and Eru that time. Like that was a dope episode.
Right. Yeah, it was. Good work, Knicks fans Brazil. Good work over there.
That was dope.
Yeah. But you know what, CAA Mafia? It's not RJ and Randall are not a number one and not a number two. They're not. So when you think about championship contenders teams, they're not a number one or a number two option. It's not their fault that the front office hasn't brought in a number one and a number two, and they have to play that role. That's not their fault. That's on the front office. That they're not those type of guys, and the front office have to bring in those type of guys so that now they can fall back into the third and fourth option on a championship contending team. But until the front office does that, they got to continue to do the best that they can, right? So don't knock them for doing the best that they can on a team where the front office hasn't constructed a championship contending roster right now. That's it.
Vote every 24 hours, guys. Vote for Randall.
He had to put the commercial back out there. Vote for Randall every 24 hours.
Right.
Listen, he's playing hard, man. I think, I'm no fan of Randall, but I got to call a spade a spade. He's playing well. He's putting in the effort. When you know how you judge the effort is how they play defense. If they play hard on defense, their head is in the game. They are trying real hard.
Right. Sure, when Knicks fans love Obi, so whatever Randall does is a hump, right? Because nobody is saying, this is Obi's third year, in the league. He was the eighth pick in the draft. He should be further along right now. Like nobody is saying that. Is Randall and RJ. It is what it is. Yeah.
Shout out to Keith Turner. He said he's voting for Randall, him and Brunson.
Yeah, I did my vote today. I'm gonna try to do it every 24 hours. I voted for both of them. I'm gonna try to do it. Yeah. Anything I didn't bring up that you guys want to talk about? If not,
I'm trying to think what else happened. I'm trying to think what else happened today. We brought up the trade rumors. We talked
about the trade rumors. We talked about Brunson. We talked about Randall. We talked about the games this week. And the games coming up.
The game's coming up, yeah.
About to say happy holidays to everybody. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think because we're not going to have another show for another weekend.
No, we're gonna go Friday.
Who we are? When?
You're doing the recap on Friday morning.
Right, but I mean, didn't we say we was gonna next week the Knicks have a game Thursday, so we were gonna do Friday.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that stuff.
Yeah,
I looked at the schedule again, but if that's what it is. That's what it is. I ain't going nowhere. I'm be chilling. I got off all next week too, so let me know. Okay. I'm saying it's the end of the week for me. I had to put that PTO in. I'm done on Friday, my last day until the 3rd. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm done to do everything.
Wow. Yeah, we talked about the second round pick we lost. Greg, we talked about
Right,
that as well. And Knicks fans, Brazil, I think Grimes is a game time decision.
right.
Yeah, he's day to day. And if he's not able to go, quickly is gonna go. Now quickly has been struggling,
I was
but
about
the
to
last
say,
2 games he's played
right.
pretty well.
I was about to say we really didn't talk about Emmanuel quickly that much. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
him
shooting well.
starting.
I just really think the way that we use him is wrong.
Oh wow,
That's
how
all.
how would you like to use him?
Just the way that we had him playing the two like his rookie year. I like it better like that. Like just seeing him at the two now and just on catch and shoots. I like him doing that than with the ball in his hand. Like he's
Yeah,
way too indecisive. Sometimes he don't know whether to shoot or not when the ball is in his hand. He's not a point guard, and stop trying to make him one. So it's been 3 years. He's not ever going to develop into one. I think we just use him off ball, like strictly off ball. I think it would do wonders for Emmanuel quickly.
yeah. But I think even when actually, even when he's in there with McBride, he got the ball. When
Right,
he's in there with Rose, he got the ball. You
right,
know,
right.
and you're right. Ron brought that point up this morning on the recap show that he's very indecisive. And I think part of it is that he's probing. Like he's probing, like dribbling around, probing and seeing can he get in the lane or whatever. But he's taking up time,
Yep.
dribbling the ball. Um, unlike Grimes, who is so sharp, like he don't need all of those dribbles. Boom, 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 boom. He get it. He gonna put it up or he gonna pass it. So you're right. But I don't know if Quickly can play like that.
So sorry for my laugh. I'm reading some of these comments. So
Right,
Uh,
right.
look at Keith Turner says Graves will be on the sideline where he always be. He must be related to AD. He said
he's Street Clothes Junior. Street Clothes Junior.
street clothes
Yeah,
Junior.
yeah, that's one thing about Grimes too. Like we
Ro-
keep talking about people injury prone, so he's
Ro-
kind of been injury prone since he's gotten here. So
Yeah, everybody leaving a limo. He lives in an ambulance after every game.
yeah, but
Almighty finesse. Come on now. We
let's
won
talk about the
6 out of the
draft.
we won
Hey, we
Hold
won
on,
8.
though,
out of
Steph.
the
You know I can
last
talk about the
9. And you
draft,
want to
though,
talk
Steph.
about the draft?
I can talk about the draft at any time, though, Steph. Whenever you ready, I'm ready. But yeah,
He said he's not sold on this roster.
well, yeah,
But are you sold on Brunson, Randall, and RJ? Are you sold on those 3? Because I agree. I think we need to do some retooling. But when you think about it, who are you retooling unless you're giving up some of those young cats?
right.
Who are you? Are you going to trade Randall, RJ, Brunson? Probably not. Who are you trading? Mitch? Who are you like? So if there's going to be a trade, it's going to involve some of the young players.
Man, we got too many picks. We already trying to get down to Tibbs trying to get the 9-man rosters. 9-man rotations, and we got like what 11 first-round picks coming up. We obviously can't draft all of those. We're gonna have to
Right.
do some trades.
Right.
This roster is not going to look anything like it does now in 2 years. I don't think it shouldn't.
Right. Right.
Like it almost can't. Like we have too many draft picks for that. Something has to happen.
Right.
We either got to give those draft picks away and actually get a start in here,
Mhm.
or I don't know. Obi and IQ has to get paid at the same time next year. Like Deuce
Right.
and Grimes got to get paid after that. Yeah, like all these young kids, they can't be on the roster at the same time.
Right. It's not about do we have talent. We do have talent, Paris Duggar, but you got to keep shaping the roster. And I'm not saying you have to do it right now. It could even be in
Right.
the off season. But you got to keep shaping the roster over time until you shape it into a championship contending team. You got to keep shaping it over time. I'm not saying anything needs to happen now because I don't think you or any of us believe that if you was to lock in this roster for the next 5 years, that it would grow into a championship contending team.
Right.
Right? I don't believe that. So we do have talent. It's not a championship contending team, and I don't think it's going to grow into a championship contending team if you make no changes, right? So I'm not advocating that we need to do something right now, but over time, if you want to be a championship contender, you got to keep adding to your team. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't have to happen right now. And the Knicks do have talent, but now you have to ask yourself, do you hold that talent because you believe it's going to blossom into championship level talent? Or do you start trading it off for in the hopes of eventually shaping your team into a championship contending team? Almighty Finesse said we are mediocre. So Almighty Finesse,
I
he
think it
just coming
depends on who
on.
you're asking, right? I think it depends on who you're asking, how much faith you have in the young
Right.
kids on this roster. That's what it all boils down to.
So Almighty Finesse, I appreciate you. We met him at the draft party. Are you saying we're just playing over our heads right now? Is that what you're saying? But if the picks replace guys, so be it. There's no. Well, we don't know that. It doesn't always have to be a big trade to make us. That's gonna make us better. Sometimes the small trades make us better as well. You know.
Right.
I think a
Mhm.
small like you mentioned, Jay Crowder, that would make us better. I think him backing up Rendell would make it's almost no letdown when you have that that power forward coming up after Rendell. That would have made
Yeah.
a difference.
Right.
Once.
Right. And plus, I was just saying that, like, I don't know. A lot of people keep talking about our draft picks. Like, we have 2 draft picks next year in the first round, right? If we don't, if we do get Dallas pick is protected, obviously top 10.
It's
But
top 10.
if we do get 2 draft picks, like, where are they playing?
But
Like,
Jerrell, don't we
what
have?
is happening?
No, we
Like,
have. There's got to be some trades involved. But don't we have don't we have another pick next year? Like heavily protected might be from.
something like that. Yeah. Like,
I think
I
we
do.
have.
I do believe that, like, it is possible for us to have 3 first round picks next year.
I don't remember which one. I know it's not Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's next in 2 years.
I forgot one because we talked about it earlier. We talked about it before, but I
Yeah.
do think it is possible for us to have 3. So even if we did have 1 or 2, like, we sold off our first round draft pick this past year. So I don't know. With Tibbs at the helm as the head coach, I don't see any rookie coming in here and playing any minutes anyway. So we'll
Yeah,
see. So, like,
he
we
still
have
can
3
get
picks.
minutes.
There's no way we're gonna draft 3 picks next year. Like, we
Yeah.
can't. We can barely get.
Oh,
People want everybody to play on the team now, so you're trying to get 3 other kids in here. How's that gonna work? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, you have to have one or the other. Like, you're either gonna want kids that are playing now, or you want to just have a whole bunch of draft picks and you don't want to go young. Like, you can't have both. Like, OB and IQ can't stay on the team if we're gonna have 3 first round draft picks next year. Somebody got to go. Like, we don't have enough roster spots.
we don't, and we still have players, that we drafted. We drafted Trevor Keels, who I don't know where is he in the G League, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
He
he was
is.
going to stay there too.
Did they what they do with Hunt?
They
released.
they released him. He's not with the team anymore.
Oh, what's that other kid we signed off? We didn't draft.
Hush, talk about he go trade Kills. Who trading for Trevor Kills?
Right.
Who is trading for Trevor Kills? Bro?
Harris Duggar. Well, come on now. Yes, these guys can continue to grow. Quickly is going to get better. RJ is going to get better. The question is, eventually, not now, but eventually, you want to become a championship contending team. Is there anybody on this team that you think is going to be a number 1 or number 2 option on a championship contending team? No. And so, at some point, you're going to have to trade for one. If you don't draft one, you're going to have to trade for one. And if you trade for one, you're going to have to give to get. So, yes, these guys are going to grow. No doubt. No doubt that they're going to grow. But I don't believe anybody on this team is going to grow to be a star or superstar.
Right.
Right. And so if that's the case, I'm not saying the Knicks are playing well right now. I'm not saying the Knicks need to rush out and do anything. But over time, if you're trying to construct a roster, a championship contending roster, this ain't it. So I'm enjoying them for what they're doing. Even if they finish 6, it's 6, not 2. So even if they finish 6, that's a step in the right direction. And then it's on the front office to make the changes to get you to 4, to get you to 3, to get you to 2. Like that's just part of building a basketball team. Again, I'm not saying that they need to go out right now and do it. They might trade Randall. Everybody is on the table.
Right.
We top 10 in defense for now, but we wouldn't go far we first round exit. And that's okay. Listen, step by step, piece by piece. I hear a lot of the fan base say that all the time. What's the use of going to the playoffs just to exit in the first round? So what do you think is going to happen? You're going to build a team and incubate it and just stay there, and then all of a sudden pop and become a championship contender? Doesn't happen that way. You go to the first round, you lose. You retool your team. Maybe the next time you make it to the semifinals, you retool your team. Maybe the next time you take it to the East. So you can't just be like, because you're not a championship team, what's the sense of going to the first round?
Yep.
Step by step.
even the Golden State is a dynasty, right? You remember Golden State before they was a dynasty? We all old enough to know what the team was like when Steph first got there. It took him a while. It took them a while to get to the second round and to the third round, to the finals and stuff, and then eventually making it to the finals.
Right.
Jerrell, I'll give you one better. How many times did the Bulls get knocked out before they even?
That is true.
How many times?
And they had Michael Jordan on the team.
They had Michael Jordan.
So yeah, it took a while.
Same thing with the Detroit Pistons.
7
Same
years
thing for most teams. You don't just pop and boom, all of a sudden you're a championship contender. You got to. What about Philly? Philly's taking their lumps as well.
Yes.
Trying to get to championship contender, you're going to take your lumps.
And they got an MVP candidate over there. Like they got Embiid over there. Hate or love him, he's a dominant basketball player over there. So if it's going to take them a while and they have a bona fide number 1, it's going to take us a while unless we get that bona fide number 1 too.
You're right, CAA Mafia. You're absolutely right. But it's on the front office to continue to retool the team. That may mean trading Randall at some point. That may mean trading RJ at some point. But this is where we are now. You know? They're going to keep trust me, this is how it is. They're going to keep retooling the team. And that may mean trading them all for a superstar, putting them in packages when that time comes.
Yep. Pretty much everybody on this team. I didn't even cut you off, Steph.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say everybody on this team is expendable.
Correct. Everybody on this team is expendable, you know. But right now the team is playing well. And to be honest, this is how it happens. We didn't make it. We was 4th seed, then we didn't make it. Now we might make it. You know, looks like, if we continue to play this way, we might make it. Then over the summer, retool the team and see how far you can go.
CAA Mafia, point is they lost with Jordan. That's the point. The point is it takes time to build up that winner. It's not a matter of 28-year-old, 26-year-old. They lost with Michael Jordan. Just to tell you, to make the point, to explain to you that you don't just go from lottery to championship caliber team. It just doesn't work that way. Doesn't happen that way. That's the point.
Knicks fan Brazil, I believe if the Knicks continue to play the way they're playing now, that they can finish in the top 6. Now, those teams that's behind the Knicks are not going to go to sleep. Right? Miami, Indiana, Atlanta, Toronto. They're not going to sleep. They're going to continue to play. Any one of them can turn the corner and string together some wins. Chicago and Washington right now is 11th and 12th. Chicago has won 2 games. Bradley Beal is back. Washington has won 1 game. How many times have we seen after the All-Star game a team make a push, win 15 out of 17 and what have you, and start flying up the standings? So I believe they can, but they're playing a lot of minutes. There's not a lot of depth in that second unit. Hopefully when Obi comes back, he gets back into the rotation. Hopefully Grimes will get healthy soon. IQ can go back to that second team, but you're going to have to continue to play well because those other teams are not going away.
True.
I don't know about Indiana. I don't think Indiana is going to be better than. I don't think Indiana has the veterans that we have. They have the talent. I don't think they have the veterans that we have. We shall see. We shall see.
I'm about to say as their young kids get older though,
Yeah, they
that
have
second
couple,
half
they have,
second half of the season is gonna tell a lot.
Indiana, Detroit have a couple of really good young kids.
Yes. But over time, you thinking this year or just over the next few years for Indiana?
For Indiana, I don't know, better than us next year. This year, no, but like the second half of the season, I think they're going to play even better. Like Ben Mathurin, he's coming off the bench, averaging like what he's averaging,
like 20 something. Like he's
like
really good. He's really good, man.
Him and Chris Duarte come off the bench for them. So yeah, they like after the All-Star game, as they mature more, Ben Mathurin is going to be even better than he is now.
Right.
And so is Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton still hasn't even been with them a whole year yet.
Right.
I mean, he got traded in the middle of the year last year. I don't even think it's been a calendar year since he's been in Indiana. So yeah, he's going to be better with them too. And he already leads the league in assists.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. We definitely shall. See, we drafted Obi over. I mean, nobody. Listen, at the time, nobody knew Obi was going to play like this. At the time when we drafted Obi, he was deemed NBA ready.
I want a Halliburton.
Yeah,
I think
I want a Halliburton though. I wouldn't have picked Obi. But
I think he's going to get traded. Obi.
And the issue with Halliburton was his release.
Right.
We got to think back to that time.
His awkward release.
His awkward release. Obi, was what he was the player of the year, college player of the year that year. Everybody thought he would be able to come in and give you 10 points, 8 rebounds off the rip.
Yeah.
And he got here.
Halliburton is one player that I actually thought was going to be good, right? The person who shocked me though was Tyrese Maxey. I did not think
we tried to get Maxey though.
Right. I did not think Tyrese Maxey was going to turn out how he is. Like, even though I still think Tyrese, Halliburton is better, but I always like Halliburton. I wasn't a big Maxey fan, but I'm a way better bigger Maxey fan than I was before. I like Maxey.
Paris Doug, I'm gonna have to call you out. Just because Halliburton is part of a team.
Yeah, that don't mean anything.
He's part of a team.
Oh, God.
So are you saying that because his team lost to us 5 times in a row that he wasn't a better draft pick than Obi Toppin? And this is what I mean about us, as fans. We have our favorites and we put on these rose-colored glasses and we can't see what's in front of us. Halliburton is on his way to the All-Star team, probably.
Yep.
He's averaging 10.5 assists a game. And I don't want to hear, that's because he's given minutes. If you gave Obi the same minutes, you would get the same results. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put any money on that. So just because his team lost to us in 5 times in a row, what does that mean? That he's not a good player?
What does that mean, Queen? And that inspired something in my head. So we've never beaten a team with Ben Simmons in it. So does that mean he's the greatest player the Knicks ever came across? Because we've never beat him. Not once. He was in Philly, we couldn't beat him. He's in Brooklyn, we couldn't beat any team with Ben Simmons. So he must be the god of basketball when it comes to the Knicks. It means nothing.
I hear you repping old school, but I think we do that because sometimes the players on the other team are just better.
Yeah, they're just better.
Sometimes they're just better.
And I actually watch these dudes. Like I like Tyrese Halliburton not just because of like his drafts. Like I watched him in college, like when he was at Iowa State. Like he's good. It just depends. Like I watched Obi too. It's just a different fit. It's not really the player when it came to the draft. It was the fit. It's who you draft.
Paris Duggar, this is the last airplay you're gonna get. Toppin wasn't hiding the injury. We saw when it happened in the game.
He was hiding the injury.
I don't think maybe Paris Duggar don't watch the
way
games.
better than Halliburton.
Well, we're not talking about Ben Simmons.
And
We're talking about now you're switching the goalposts. You was talking about Obi Toppin. Anyway, I appreciate you, Paris Duggar, for rocking with us. You've been here from the beginning, and I definitely appreciate you.
Halliburton. Oh, they just going over between Halliburton and Brunson. Yeah, we got Brunson now, so you know what I'm saying. Brunson's here now, so that's my guy. But yeah, at the time, I wanted Tyrese Halliburton. But yeah, we got Brunson.
So during the draft, you wanted.
I wanted Tyrese Halliburton at the draft. That was my. You know how we have draft picks,
right?
Like last year, this past year, I wanted Jalen Duran. I wanted Duran. Even though Mathurin was,
I wanted Mathurin, but I didn't think he would be there when we picked.
I thought we was going to draft like Halliburton, and he would have been there at 8. And we picked Obi. That's fine. Like that wasn't my pick, but I definitely wanted Halliburton. It was between him and I wanted Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony came out of that draft. It was either one of those two. I wanted a point guard. Those were my two at that time, like at 8. But Tyrese Maxey, that's the one who surprised me.
Right. And the Knicks, if I remember correctly, was trying to get Maxey, but he went before us. And that's when they traded down.
Yep. And then we got IQ.
And then we got IQ. But do you think if IQ went to Philly, he would be doing the same things that Maxey is doing?
Oh no, they're two different. No.
He said,
I thought you meant the same things he's doing here. No, I do not think he's Tyrese Maxey or vice versa. Tyrese Maxey is a better scorer than IQ or like he's he's just a better player all around to me. But yeah, I'm not down on IQ, but yeah, they're two different level players to me, at least at this point.
Right. Where would Kuzma play? Like, where would Kuzma play? You're not trading for him and putting him on the bench, are you? And where are you putting him in the starting lineup? And who are you taking out the starting lineup?
He would have to play the 3. And RJ would have to slide down to the 2, and Grimes will go to the bench. Because you would not put Kuzma on the bench.
Right.
And he ain't no 2, obviously. RJ would be the 2, and he would be the 3. Because he does play the 4.
Right.
But at least he's athletic enough to play the 3, though. It's not like Obi, lateral quickness and stuff like that. Kuzma at least has that. But he's a natural 4, though. We should pull the trigger on Kuzma.
Okay. Same question. Where would he play?
Where would he play? After every loss, nobody is hating on our players. We just had some downtime. People were talking in the chat about the trade rumors. And so we just started talking about it. Nobody is hating on our players and loving everybody else player. But listen, as a fan base, I get it. We so attached to these players. I'm attached to the Knicks.
Right.
I'm attached to the New York Knicks and us eventually winning a championship. I'm not attached to any of these players.
I don't know.
I'm not attached to any of them. Randall, Brunson, and I like Brunson. Yep. If we can get a star player for Brunson got to go.
Yeah, he had to go.
And I just think we got to get off of that. We loving everybody. Yes, because if you watch basketball a lot, you can look at another team like, yo, that guy can play. Mm-hmm. And if he was on my team would be better. Not, he would take time away from so-and-so, or that means that so-and-so would have to go. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in an eventual championship. And if there's somebody on another team that's going to make the Knicks better, bring them on.
Queen, I think Nick Yak is not. I don't think he's referring to us, the panel. I think he's reading the comments. When you read
Okay.
the comments, I mean, some people here like really hating on our players. I,
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I think that's what.
Sorry, Nick. I thought you talking about because I'm like,
No,
I
no,
thought
no.
you
I
was talking
think
about us too.
I
I
thought you
think
talking about
no, no,
us
no.
too. I'm like,
Because I
I
had to
think
think about who we was hating on.
no.
who we hating on?
No, I think he's reading
Maybe because we wanted because
CAA
we,
Mafia. He's reading those
but we was
comments. He's
talking
like,
about Halliburton
Oh, the
over
draft.
Obi as well. So I thought maybe he
oh
was
no,
talking
no.
about
I
that.
don't. I think he's
Yeah, that's the
referring
draft though.
Almighty finesse. Come, we won 8 straight.
Hey yo, F said, hey
that.
F said, blow it up, yo.
See, Queen. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking
I
about.
mean, you act like we lost 8 straight. We won 8 straight. So what are you trying to say?
Yo,
You don't think it's
that's
tenable?
my
You don't think
guy
it's
though.
gonna continue?
Almighty Finesse ain't scared to say nothing. I actually love that. Blow it up.
I'm with you, repping old school. And I said this on the Queen's Court.
Star players kills.
If you're not trading one of our top 3 players for a star, and you're just bringing in pieces around them, please make sure they fit.
Right.
We need people that can shoot and stretch the defense. Listen, RJ, Brunson, Randall, they all operate best in the key. So whoever you bring in somebody that can shoot the ball and stretch the defense, and bring in somebody that can shoot the ball and create space for us on offense, and somebody that can play defense. I don't care about names either. Fit. If you're not bringing in a superstar, we'll work it out. Bring in whoever, we'll work it out. But if it's not a superstar,
Yeah, that's
fit.
why.
It has to be about fit.
I was about to say that's why OG's name keep coming up because he's the perfect fit.
Fit.
He's
Right,
not an
right.
all-star either. He's never made the
Right.
all-star team. I think like he's just a perfect fit. Like he's the perfect 3-and-D guy to pair up with Brunson and Brunson and Randall. If we
Right.
got rid of RJ, or even if RJ was here, like he'll still be a good fit for Tibbs and what he wants to do.
Paris Duggar, there's nobody out there that's going to make us an instant championship contender, but there are players out there that's going to help reshape your team and get you closer and closer and closer and closer. And that's on the front office, and that's what they need to do.
Queen,
If you're going to stay pat with this team and think they're going to grow into a championship team, you're fooling yourself. Bottom line.
Queen,
And one second, Donovan Mitchell may not take us there, but we'll be definitely a step closer than we would be with this team. So don't fool yourself. Step by step, piece by piece, family. It's not like one move going to take you all the way to the top. You keep reshaping it over time. That's
Right.
it.
But Queen, follow the logic though. They don't want step by step. They want to go from lottery to championship, and I that's what I'm reading here. So what you're saying, it's not registering. They don't. That's why they tell you this player doesn't move the needle, doesn't make us championship contender. They think there's one player out there that's gonna all of a sudden make us win the championship.
No, you gotta shape it over time. You just get better and better and better. And I don't know who. I think as the players become available, the front office has to decide, does this player make us better? What are they asking for this player? The point is, you got to hold on to these players loosely. You got to hold on to them loosely because they could be out the door for somebody that's going to make us better.
Yeah, and most of the young guys that we actually want here, I don't think they're going anywhere. Like the Brandon Ingrams of the world,
Right.
SGA.
Oh, my
Why the hell would
God.
OKC trade SGA right now? They're not going to trade him, yo.
Right.
Especially not here. Like I don't see it. Brandon Ingram.
We do got a good relationship with them. We done made a few trades with them. We done made a few.
You are
You
right.
know?
You are right. Draft picks and everything, Steph. Like we gave him a draft pick and everything. So yeah, I do get that, but yeah, he ain't going nowhere, man.
But I'm thinking now they've got $30 million wrapped up in him. They got Chet and Giddy. So I mean, if they decide that they want to reset their clock and go even younger, fine, but it would cost a lot. And Shai Gilgeous is a budding star too. I mean, he's doing it in OKC. They haven't been to the playoffs, so you don't know what he would do in the playoffs. But in my opinion, he's a budding star. You're gonna have to give up a Donovan Mitchell package for him as well,
if not more.
So, and you don't know. He's not as proven yet. You're gonna have to, and then where is he? I guess Grimes would go to the bench if he didn't go in that trade.
Steph, he averaging 31, 6, and 5.
I know.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, and a block too, and 2 steals. So.
And how about when we did fantasy? I crossed them off my list because I got burnt the past 2 seasons with him, with the injuries, and then them shutting him down. I said, I don't care. I'm not drafting you. And look at him.
Yep. Wow. And he's doing that, shooting like 50%.
Yeah. Very efficient as well. Knicks Nation 112. Queen in the front office is not going to take the step. They scared to fail. So slow driving this thing in order to milk Dolan's money.
Damn.
Oh, God.
You got some bars tonight.
Yeah. Our young core averages less than 10 points each. They're not getting us a start. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. No,
there's no argument.
That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if a small trade comes along that makes us better and you have to give up one of our young guys, you got to do it. If a big trade comes along and you got to give up a Brunson, a Randall, or RJ, you got to do it. The point I'm trying to make is it's about the Knicks and what makes the team better. It's not about any individual player. That's the bottom line. If we have to give up Obi for somebody that makes us better, I'm doing it. As long as the player is not injury prone and over the hill, I'm doing it. It makes us better.
Right.
CAA Mafia is on it tonight. I appreciate you rocking with us. Are we re-signing IQ, Deuce, Obi? I doubt it. So what we getting for them? More second round picks. It depends. If you're not going to sign them, it would be prudent to try to trade them for somebody that's going to help. And that's why the Knicks have to be making their decisions about Obi Toppin and IQ now. Are you re-signing them? And if you're not, then you should be looking to move them if you're not going to re-sign them.
Re-signing Obi at this point is crazy. Like, he got to show more than what he's been showing. I don't see us re-signing Obi. I think he's out of here. But I think that's a tough situation too, because that's the front office first draft pick.
Yeah, I think he's going to get traded, Obi, I think. I mean, IQ might be gone too.
Yep. I can see that, but Tibbs likes IQ more than he likes Obi, though. Like, you could tell. He's always had.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Obi is a one-way player.
Right.
Even now with this rotation, I don't see, how is he going to throw Obi back in there when Obi comes back?
I think he will. I mean, listen, Obi was drafted by this front office. Some of this comes from the top. I think if it was up to Tibbs, Obi wouldn't be playing at all. But he'll be back. I would be shocked if he's not back in the rotation.
Yep.
Right. And that's the other issue with Obi. It's not even about the defense, it's the rebound. So it's like if they're going to expand the rotation, fine. If they're not going to expand the rotation, you taking out Sims? Sims is a better defender and rebounder than Obi. Doesn't hit the 3 though. So it's just tough. Maybe Obi replaces iHeart. But you talk about iHeart defense, Obi is worse than that.
Here we go. Almighty finesse. Obi smiles and dunks. That's all he does. Have you seen him shoot the 3 lately? Come on, man. What game are you guys watching?
Yeah, it's after 11, ain't it? Yep, that's what I told you. After 11, we get crazy in the chat, man.
Yeah. I forgot Sadiq Bey is also on the trading block.
See, that's another. But that's another move that's not really that big though.
It's not a big move, but it'll help us though. He's a 3-and-D guy, even though the
It
three
will
ain't
help.
been falling this season though. The three hasn't been falling this season.
Yeah,
But these are the type of players that I'm talking about.
yeah, I can see
Younger
that.
players that can shoot the ball and defend. Can do both.
Yeah, he's
We
tough.
got Obi that can shoot for the most part, can't defend. You got Sims, who's a monster defensively. He's not scoring. We need both.
Yeah, and that good OB shooting is a small sample size too. Not taking it away from him either, but I don't know
Right.
if OB can consistently shoot yet either.
Right. I think OB's defense is worse than RJ's, and I think RJ's defense is getting a bit better. But we're also talking about defensive awareness as well, and where you're supposed to be. And then also RJ is bringing something else to the table that OB isn't. So it's always plus minus. You know, you're like, wow, he's not a good defender. You know, he's not a great defender, but he's averaging 25 points over the past 10 games, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, if I remember correctly, and shooting efficiently from the field in these last 10 games. So when you have a player that's doing that, sometimes you live with the defense that's mid or below average, but you're not gonna take that from somebody who's not giving you where there isn't a trade-off. You know, you're not gonna take bad defense for somebody that's not rebounding.
Queen.
You know,
we didn't give Fournier and Kemba that same love. They didn't play no defense, but they were scoring. You know, I mean, it's RJ's in the same category now. He's giving us no defense. You're saying his defense is not bad. His defense is not good at all. I mean, you watch those games, man. RJ, he's lost. Like, he's getting beat backdoor. They're going right by him. I mean, they're looking for the player,
right?
That RJ is guarding to go to him.
Right.
I mean, that's
but
bad.
But he's been better over. I mean, if you put any stock in defensive rating over the winning streak, he has one of the best defensive ratings on the team over the winning streak. Right. But I agree with you. Prior to that, he was just a hot mess. But it's better. He's still getting beat, but it's not. It's nowhere like it was prior when it was like, yo, we're like, what happened?
Right.
You know how when we're watching the game, Clyde usually says you have to see the ball and your man.
Right.
RJ sees nothing. He doesn't see the ball or his man. He sees nobody.
Mm-hmm.
He's in no man's land like half the time. That's unbelievably, whatever. And I'm surprised with Tibbs as a coach that's happening to him.
CAA Mafia said the Pistons might want to unprotected first for Saddiq Bey. Would you do that?
He's not even in. He's coming off the bench playing 17 minutes a game, and now you want a unprotected first. Relax.
Don't we have Detroit's one of?
We got a lot of them though.
Yeah, so we give them back what they gave us and get for Saddiq Bey.
We do got a lot of them, Steph. I don't know.
Unprotected though.
No.
I mean, we got 11. I think three of them are. How many? I think out of the 11, we got 3 unprotected. No, excuse me. 3 protected and 8 unprotected. If I'm not
something like that.
I like Saddiq Bey. I mean, he's not playing well this season, but last season, almighty finesse, this ain't even happening. Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that was for the most part. He was like the consensus. We had a draft show. We had a couple draft shows. He was like the consensus best wing from everybody, to be honest.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I think the front office over the draft didn't even attempt to trade down because he was more attainable than who do we try to get? The kid that's in Detroit.
What's his name?
Ivy.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was more. We could have got because Ben Matthew he went for 6 or 7.
7.
So we could have traded down for him. I think.
Traded up.
traded up.
Traded up. I'm sorry. We could have
But you
traded
got to
up for
have
him.
trade partners though, and you got to be willing because the other team see the value in him as well.
Right.
So you would have to be ready to give up, and you know what, they may have even asked, but you got to be ready to give up something.
I don't know if we did, man. We do. Listen, the Knicks front office does this thing when they're fixated on one player, they don't look at anything else. They wanted Jaden Ivey, and that's it. It's like Jaden Ivey or nothing else.
Right.
So they couldn't get Ivy, so they just say, you know what, we're not even going to draft anybody.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Johnny Davis ain't even getting off the bench, and
that was
Washington.
Josh's favorite wing. I remember that conversation.
Yeah, even with Bill, injured.
A lot of people wanted Johnny Davis. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wasn't. But I think I would have. I think I would have drafted Griffin though.
See, I wasn't a big fan of AJ Griffin either. I'm not gonna lie, just because of but he was hurt when he was that one year he was at Duke. He was coming off an injury, so
Right.
Yeah, he was pretty much like a turnstile on defense. Like he was one of the worst defensive wings in the draft, but like everything else is pretty on par. And I think he's coming off for that injury, and he's playing better defense now, but he's still not. Yeah, he wasn't my favorite, to be honest. I like Jalen Williams more than him. The cat that
really
OKC. Yeah, I liked him. I really liked him coming out of Santa Clara. He was good. Like I already thought he was, at least on offense. I already thought that he was like not NBA ready. Like he was gonna come in and average 20, but he had a bag with him. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and he went before us. He went 12, right?
No, I don't think so. He went after us. Like we could have
had
after.
Him. Okay.
Yeah, he went after. But yeah, I liked him too. But he came out of Santa Clara, so I knew he was going to be available because people, players from there don't really get drafted high. So I know he was like a not a sleeper. He was going to get drafted in the first round, but not high in the draft.
Right.
But Jalen Duran was the person I really wanted and who I thought we was going to get, and we ended up drafting him and traded him anyway. So there goes all that draft knowledge. It doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Just saw that Middleton is on my fantasy team and he injured again. I'm like,
oh, Trav said something about Dalen Terry. Yep, I liked him too. Same teammate as Ben Mathurin in Arizona. They was both pretty good.
Right. Definitely. Anything else?
No, that was it. We got into draft talk now. We'd be here all night with me, Steph. So
Yeah.
I started talking about the cats coming out of this year. Like, there's some real problems coming out. So
yeah, I liked who was I gonna say?
Coming out next year?
No. Dalen Terry. Somebody mentioned Dalen Terry.
Yeah. I liked him too.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Can we, before we go,
mm-hmm.
What's that game? The Golden State Warriors game that was on TNT. Man, that non-Knicks media, they really, really hate that team's guts.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
My God, I mean,
it's to the point now that when I'm watching like the nationally televised games, I just
mute that stuff, right?
I mute it and listen to something else.
Listen, Jerrell, we steady pounding them. We beating the crap out of them, right? Yeah. Oh, Wiseman, look at that rebound. Look at that.
Right.
Because I'm running over. I'm like, we up by 30.
They had a whole interview with Steph while he was down 27.
That was
like you could have talked to somebody else, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I get it. I'm usually, matter of fact, salute to E-Roof, Die Hard Knicks podcast. Usually when I'm watching the Knicks play, I usually have the game on mute and I'm listening to him. Like I have him on both.
Right. Somebody asked how is Mark Williams doing? I don't think he's playing.
Mark Williams, I think that he was in the G League for a little bit, but then he actually got some burn because I think they got some injury, but I don't know what he's doing right now. But like he was off and on. Like I don't think he's played that many games.
Now, do you agree with this, Nick? This is what you're saying they are, or this is what you're saying the front office thought they had? That JB was Isaiah Thomas, Grimes was Klay Thompson, and RJ was Jimmy Butler. Front office will not make until they are fired. I guess he means make a trade.
Yeah, some of y'all
Appreciate you, Greg.
Shout out to Greg. Yeah, salute to Greg, man. I was just reading Almighty Finesse. Some of y'all high on Mark Williams at 11. Yeah, if Jalen Duren wasn't there, just because I thought we needed another backup center, because that was before we got iHeart. That was when Sims wasn't even signed yet, I don't think. Like he was still like on a two-way in the G League, and Mitch wasn't signed yet either. So at that time, we didn't have a center.
Right.
And I said Jalen Duren just because even if we did sign Mitch, he was young enough to be on the team. Like he was 18 years old. So
right.
Could have had both.
Could have had both. That's a good point. Didn't have to give him up.
Yep. Could have kept him in the G League all year. He's the youngest player in the draft. Coming in just giving double doubles.
Yes.
As a teenager already. Like, yeah, he can play.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right. Any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to you, Steph. Salute to AJ for joining us tonight. Salute to the chat. We getting out here a little early before midnight. You know what I'm saying? I'm psyched. Salute to Tsunami and Stafford. They weren't with us this
Definitely.
week, but they'll probably be with us on next week. I know Tsunami was watching the Jets. Sorry for them. I think they lost tonight.
They lost?
I think so,
boy.
yeah. They lost. So I know she's feeling it right now. She ain't worried about us at all. You know what I'm saying? When the Jets lose, she take it hard. So yeah, salute to everybody, man. Have a good night. You know what I mean? Merry I was gonna say Merry Christmas, but I'll be politically correct and say Happy Holidays to everybody.
Oh my God. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Happy. Well, some people don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah,
So
celebrate
Hanukkah,
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Right. So Merry Christmas.
That's the wish for the rest of
Happy
you.
Kwanzaa.
And Happy Hanukkah. Well, instead of saying all three, and there might even be more out there I don't even know about.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. But the Knicks play next week, Tuesday and Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So we will be on Friday at 9 p.m. instead of Thursday. All right. Peace, fam.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't
Where you at?